Well, I hope you nerds have been enjoying the Silence and the Fury so far. It's not the most well-polished DLC release Creative Assembly have ever put together. Some broken and bugged stuff going around that we'll discuss more in depth in the coming days, but overall, the content itself is pretty great, and the update was huge, so I guess it's not really surprising some stuff slipped under the radar like Oxyotl and his chameleon stalkers. Taking a vacation to the Bretonnian countryside of Longui today to find out who the apex predator of the Warhammer world really is. The Troglodon, the new kid on the block with its powerful anti-large loogies, or Minaithnir, the Star Dragon, the faithful mount of one Imrik of Caledor. About to find out. So it's High Elves and Lizardmen on the new patch, and the Azur are busting out the big guns in this one. Their single strongest lord and monster, the pride of the Dragon Spine, with his Star Lance, Dragon Horn, and Lord of Dragons dueling debuff. He's one of the scariest SEMs in the game, but always a big risk when a single surround or bad engagement can lose you a fourth of your army. Very curious to see how he performs against something like a Troglodon here. So accurate and good at taking down big targets that he's going to have to be careful. Naturally wouldn't be a Caledor build without Dragon Princes. 2 units of them synergize incredibly well with the map-wide melee attack and fear from Imrik's Horn. We'll be joined by 2 Spearmen, 2 Silvern Guard, a unit of White Lions, 3 Archers, and a Life Mage with the Starwood Staff and Book of Hoeth chilling in the back. If you're going to spend 2,500 plus on a single unit, you best make sure you get the most out of that investment, and Life Magic is the easiest, most straightforward way to do so. Pop some regrowths on him, pop some heals on him, and get him back in the fight. But Oxyotl has some tricksy traps up his sleeve in this one, positioned out wide with a horde of chameleons, 2 stalkers, and 2 skirmishers, while he sets stuff up with his Master Predator sniping and golden blowpipe of Patui. This is definitely one of those games where he can generate insane value if he's protected well, because Imrik is a juicy target. He's big, he's hard to miss, he's super expensive, and Oxyotl can keep him constantly harassed and slowed, making it easier for the Troglodon to also land shots. Patrolling the back line are 2 units of Spear Rider Cold Ones, a Skink Priest of the Lore of Beasts, with only a transformation of Kadon, which I don't really agree with. You can bring at least 1 more spell on top of that to at least get a cast or 2 off of something, even if it's something cheap like Weisson's Wild Form, and the Troglodon, Poison-Spitting Spinosaur. It just so happens to be decent at shooting into infantry as well. Very good, versatile unit that can impact the battlefield in a multitude of ways. And as we get things kicked off here, Transformation of Kadon will be the first spell unleashed. Now, normally I'd say that's a weird time to use it. Like, what are you doing there? You're not going to beat Minaithnir in a fight. What purpose does this serve? You're just going to waste the cooldown, you're going to waste the life that it has, you're going to send it right into the middle of the Azur battle lines by itself. What could this possibly accomplish? Well, Oxyotl just sprang his ambush, and this was actually really smart. So, while the Star Dragon is tied down and can't go deal with the Chameleon Stalkers out on that flank who just played their hand, a bunch of stuff streaming out of the woods now that had stock. They're into the flank of the Silvern Garden. I figured there might be something out on that side, but I thought it might be like a cav unit. I did not expect this many units coming out of the woodwork, and it's caught me flat-footed here. Stalkers would normally lose to Silvern Guard, but not if they get precursor blowpipe shots into the unshielded flank and rear of their formations, and they'll have support from 2 regular Chameleon Skirmishers and Oxyotl as well. That's the brilliance of this ambush. The Dragon Princes are over on the other flank. Imrik is dealing with an annoying Manticore, so he can't come over and terror route everything, and even if he did, it's a lot of poison blowpipe fire going his way. Makes that an awkward spot for him. So instead, he'll focus on beating the brakes off that poor Feral Manticore, dropping the Lord of Dragons debuff, making sure he dominates that engagement, doesn't lose too much HP from it. Troglodon might be able to support Golden Blowpipe up Patui going on Overwatch, and actually the shot going right by and going after some of the archers. I think he was kind of worried about friendly fire into that Manticore, which does make some sense. Life Mage moving up to support. Dragon Prince is cycle charging as they were thinking about going after the Raptor Cav, realizing that might not be the best strategy with so much infantry nearby, and Skink Cohort about to be taken to Pound Town by the pompous princes of the Azur. Few things quite as majestic as a Dragon Prince charge in Warhammer. Just wish we could maybe equip them with, I don't know, the Banner of the World Dragon flickering in the breeze overhead. Flag bearers when, CA. Banners and heraldry in Mob Warhams when. They already look awesome, but just imagine how much cooler they'd look with all that heraldry flowing over the top of their charges. They'd look great. Imrik taking a lot of skirmish fire from the Chameleons and Oxyotl at the moment. Transformation of Kadon Manticore retreating. probably will not return to the fold. That Dragon Prince charge up the center obviously eviscerated those Skink cohort, but now with Saurus in the mix, that's not a fight they want to stick in, and the Strawberry Milkshake Breath raining down from above. That was a great cast from Imrik and Minaithnir. That'll jib quite a few of the Saurus and Skink cohort in their fight, alongside the White Lions and the Silverin Guard. Normally want to get that on single entities, that is where it is best, but if there's a big blob of any infantry, and Saurus are definitely worth killing, then cast it on that, help out your Silverin Guard, and give yourself a little bit more space in that melee grind. Imrik's already taken a lot of shots from the Troglodon and from the Chameleon Skinks, Oxyotl as well, and as the Cold One Spear Riders charge into the back to try to shut down the archers, Imrik had to land. He got a Overcast Regrowth and an Overcast Earthblood sent his way. Would not be able to cast both those without the Book of Hoeth and the Starwood Staff buffing up her Winds of Magic pool. Feral Troglodon now firing into the mage, realizing how important it is to get rid of that healing, to get rid of that support for Imrik. He's back up to full HP, but she would be able to cast at least one more regrowth this game, and if she just straight up dies, and she did melt there, look how fast that HP dropped. Only 2 shots down to half, she's breaking off. She should return, but there are Raptor Cav in the back, and they're hunting, trying their damnedest to feast on those archers and get them off of the field ASAP. Silverin Guard are holding the line for now, but the left flank of the High Elves is looking pretty nasty at the moment. Nice volleys from those archers to kind of zone out those Raptor Cav a little bit more. But the Troglodon and the Skink cohort ambush, the Chameleon Stalkers coming in with those precursor blowpipe shots, and the poison spitting Spinosaur on the flank, just completely destroying these White Lions. Honestly, dude, if you are a White Lion in my army, just flee before the battle even begins, because I will get you killed. There's no question about it. I will send you to an early grave. I don't know what it is. Every time I use White Lions, I just consistently put them in horrible, unsupported spots where they get pooped on. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to. Troglodon destroyed them. They're breaking off. Dragon Princes are going to be the only thing that can keep me in this game alongside Minaithnir now. All the archers are actually still alive, which is good, but you can see the Lizardmen were able to bust through that front line, no problem. They're having a little bit more issue over on their left flank where the Silverin Guard are fighting in the woods, but the rest of their army, the Skinks are swarming, the Saurus bust through, and with some good support from the Troglodons and from that great ambush on my left flank, you can see the Azure are kind of in disarray, but of course, they have not messed with the Apex Predator yet. The Star Dragon, Imrik of Caledor, and Minaithnir are a huge threat now, dealing with transformation of Kadon Manticore. That's the second summon, and that means that'll be the last of the magic used in this battle on the Lizardman side, because he didn't bring any more spells. Now, I don't know how much more casting he'd be able to do on top of that, but you can see Starlance and all his bust pops. Yeah, the Manticore wasn't going to have much chance. Now the Skink Priest is a little bit isolated, a little bit overextended, while the Dragon Princes charge in, trying to clear out some of these Saurus. But here come the Raptor Cav. They've got bonus for Large. They've got armor piercing. Dragon Princes overlapping, trying to get rid of all this stuff. But this is scary for the heavy Cav of Caledor, because the Skinks and the Saurus are swarming. They're about to get a full surround off, and Imrik has a bunch of heavy lifting he needs to do now. Cause some terror, create some space for the Dragon Princes to retreat, and begin that running battle towards the edge of the map. High Elves are overwhelmed. They're being hunted. They have no infantry support here, no anvils to stuff up the Old One's horde, and the Dragon Princes are now being preyed upon by the Troglodon and its poison. And now it's charging into melee. That's where you'd want to have a Pan's Pelt or a Weissman's Wild Form to help it out-duel the Star Dragon. Maybe not, I mean, it's not going to beat a Star Dragon in a straight-up engagement, but some Lore of Beast buffs would certainly help out in that kind of fight for sure. But Terror Route, as soon as the Troglodon got close, both Dragon Princes, really close to the white line now, are Terror Routing off. The Archers are still alive somehow, but they're being tied down by a Chameleon Stalker unit. Dragon Princes shall return to the fold, thankfully, but so close to that white line, and the High Elves are simply running out of space to maneuver and cycle charge, hammer anvil, and do what they need to do to take this game. Troglodon into melee now, beating up on some of these High Elf spears, chopping them up, feasting on them, making it look like Jurassic Park out there. And yeah, JP3, the Spinosaur, was definitely the biggest threat In the movie, he's the biggest threat here on the Lizardmen side of things. High Elves are deciding to flee from that Trog. They want no part of that cave-dwelling behemoth. Archer's still alive. Life Mage still alive. Dragon Prince's going back in now. Cold-blooded popped on one of the Spear Rider Cav. Earthblood going down. And now there's no terror to support. The Troglodon is dealing with all that stuff in the rear. And that will set up a glorious, a majestic Star Dragon breath attack into the Saurus. Now he can go down. Now he can join the fray. And that charge into the flank will immediately send the Children of the Old Ones running for the hills. Really well played there. Beautiful setup. Troglodon stomping over, trying to take down the Star Dragon, but he's got his Dragon Horn pop, plus 24 melee attack. When Imrik's up over 80 MA, you know you've got problems. And there's no way a Feral Troglodon is going to win that kind of fight. Dragon Prince is getting rid of the Chameleon Skinks now. And what looked like a pretty clear-cut advantage for the Lizardmen so quickly turned on its head with a single breath attack and charge into the rear. Lizardmen aren't out of this one yet, but it is looking pretty dire for them now. Laura B. Skink Priest looking like he might end up as dragon food, and the Spinosaur getting his ass kicked as well. Surviving better than I thought it would. The Troglodon does not have bad stats at all. Just got smacked in the face. What the five fingers say to the face? Slap! Troglodon getting smacked around a bit, but with the Dragon Princess coming in and Dragon Horn still active, yeah, the Spinosaur is like super dead. With the Silver Guard coming in from the rear, he has absolutely nowhere to go. Sarlance activated, more weapon damage, flaming attacks. Oxyotl is left on an island unto himself. He has some support elsewhere, but none of it is an actual threat. Dragon Princes by themselves could take this game now, and they still have a relatively healthy Star Dragon in support. Spinosaur falls. Star Dragon goes down into melee, going down for the Saurus. They're breaking off, and now Oxyotl in his Master Predator stance, which slows him down, but gives him snipe and makes it a lot harder to find him. Well, he will be found regardless. Dragon Princes know where he is now. Life Wizard on top of him as well, but they don't even need to kill him. They can just kill off all the rest of the infantry, and it'll be army losses regardless. So, Imrik going for the flashy play instead. Why dual Oxyotl when you could just kill a whole legion of Saurus? And that's exactly what he's going to do. Silver Guard coming in from the rear. Rather, High Elf Spears coming in from the rear. And that is going to be your game. A close one and a brilliant execution of that ambush at the start of the match. Then just getting a teeny bit overextended near the end when the Dragon Princes committed back into the fight after they terror routed. All the Saurus kind of collapse in on them to try to deal damage, which is normally how you want to play it, but you got to be careful when Imrik or any powerful dragon mount is overhead, because those breath attacks can change things so quickly. Both Dragon Princes were fantastic that game, over 1,500 damage value each, and 4,000 for Imrik and 110 kills. He got a lot of that value from killing off the Feral Troglodon, but also from dealing with all that cavalry charging in from the rear. Very interesting game. That running battle through the jungle towards the edges of the map got real spicy. Oxyotl got up to 1,600 damage value, and the Feral Trog 3,200. It is such a damn good unit, firing into Dragon Princes, killing off White Lions, getting shots into Imrik of Caledor on his Star Dragon. It's a value machine, and it has the speed, the maneuverability, and the melee stats to just be used in a very versatile manner. It can impact the battlefield in so many different ways. We saw it there. Earned 3 chevrons. Crazy good unit. And that ambush execution at the start was fantastic. It really kind of turned me on my head there. But some good psycho-charging, some good retreating, some good use of Imrik kept me in the game. And then as we moved into the later stages, just didn't quite have enough DPS to finish off the Prince of Caledor. GG.